And now, for the final presentation, we have a longtime HamSCI participant and supporter, David McGaw, talking about a new opportunity that we're hoping that HamSCI will actually participate in. So we are working on that, and we will hear from David now.
Yeah, well, we have a new opportunity. It's a NASA mission that has just recently been approved. It has it's a spacecraft, multiple spacecraft mission with a citizen science component. Cinema is the actual NASA mission. Movie is the citizen science component of it. And I believe Christina came up with the movie. So Robin Millan is at Dartmouth with me. I work for her and have for many years. And she is the principal investigator for cinema. It is expected to be transformative science. Cinema provides the first system-level cross-scale view to revolutionize our understanding of the magnetospheric dynamics. This is the animation showing the convective system of our magnetosphere. And it is, as you can see, quite complex and involves the plasma sheet, which is a portion of the magnetosphere that's like compressed by the convection on the backside of the Earth. The overarching goal to understand the role of the plasma sheet structure and evolution in Earth's multi-scale magnetospheric convection cycle. It's a little hard to read it here. But the mystery of the magnetotail convection, there's steady convection, and then there are times when it is quite complex. And that, by the way, when it explosively releases the stored energy, that's when we get aurora and solar storms. So, is there a way to increase the size of this here? I don't like having to turn all the time. I guess that'll work. Thank you. Magnetoscale convection is multi-scale. There's the large scale, and we'd like to determine the large scale structure and evolution of the plasma sheet for different magnetotail convection regimes. Mesoscale in the middle, determine the link between mesoscale dynamics that manifest in the aurora and the structure of the plasma sheet. And then kinetic scale, determine the connection between particle precipitation attributed to the kinetic wave effects and mesoscale dynamics. And this is came out of the decadal survey, which Robin Millan was involved with. It is not well understood how large-scale conditions control microscale processes, how the microscale processes impact the global dynamics, and how the interaction and feedback between the various scales operate. So it's intended to include technical and scientific innovation, 3 powerful design strategies, 9 polar orbiting satellites, remote sensing techniques, energetic particles, aurora imaging, and magnetometers. And then an innovative aspect is an evolving satellite constellation. So there are 9 satellites, 3 different instruments, and then remote sensing cross-scale dynamics enables a small explorer satellite or mission with an outsized science impact, advances satellite constellations for science. So there's remote sensing involved, imaging, and getting a global look at the aurora. There's remote sensing of the open-closed boundary. The energetic particles carry the signatures of key magnetospheric boundaries, and this is what's really innovative here. And then remote sensing the magnetic terrain, which is in part imprinted on the particle distributions. Remember, these are in low Earth orbit. And remote sensing the electrical currents in the aurora, in the ionosphere. So this is the idea. There's an evolving satellite constellation that will pick up particles coming from the magnetotail being accelerated down into the upper atmosphere. And the satellites will be picking up these particles as they come in and imaging the tail as a result. And it, let's do that one again. It starts out as a series of 9 spacecraft, and over time will evolve into, from a single line into 3 separate lines, spreading out its imaging capability. This is the cinema team. There are already a lot of people involved. And then the movie project, which is the citizen science component, which allows us to actually participate in the science. And number of organizations or projects that are already involved. Mike Hartinger, the lead of the movie project, has his project HARP, and then of course we have HamSCI involved. So the movie prequels, as it's being called, is all these various citizen science projects and other projects that are being brought in. We have the HARP project. We have our project. EasyMag is a citizen science magnetometer. I mean, we've got magnetometers that are being developed all over, including our own. But they're a magnetometer project of citizen science that's connected with the EASY satellite, which is magnetometers in Earth orbit. And then aurora chasers. And so here we have the 3 instruments on cinema that will then be various aspects of movie augmented on the ground. And this is the cast. Mike Hartinger is lead, Robin, PI, Christina and Nathaniel are already involved, and I'm involved, and a number of others, and Jonathan Rizzo, who you've heard from, VLF aspect of it, and various others. And the movie goals, by providing multiple platforms for engagement, movie empowers volunteers to make new discoveries in partnership with the cinema team, augment the cinema science, and provide multiple pathways for volunteers to contribute. And the various components, as I'm mentioning, crowdsourced event finding, cinema and ground-based data set features to statistically study the cause and consequences of multi-scale aurora, and observational campaigns supported by open source instrument kits to study the causes and consequences of multi-scale aurora. These are examples of what we have already demonstrated as capabilities of our citizen science. So there are various aspects, geomagnetic disturbance, statistical studies of various sorts. These slides are fairly involved. They'll be available, so if people want to read them further, and further studies. And then case studies with imagers and observational campaigns, open source instrument kits of various sorts, including the personal space weather station, an expected outcome, a scientific publication, publication of Aurora Chaser images, open source instrument kit documentation and all. And then, of course, radio wave statistical study and case studies. As our Eclipse campaigns are a good example of what we can do. And this is, showing where all the personal space weather stations were at a particular time. So the aurora precipitation, the electrons that come in accelerated from the magnetotail, lead to changes in the ionosphere that affect radio communications, both locally and non-locally. Connections with the mesoscale aurora have not been explored in depth. Lack of coordinated investigations, lack of radio wave data sets with sufficient granularity. Similar methodology to scenes 1 and 2, except data sets used by HamSCI and the amateur radio community would be employed to identify radio wave impacts, blackouts, propagation, enhancements, and determine correlations with different types of aurora using the labeled images. And expected outcomes are a scientific publication for statistical study and for case studies, publication of the data collected by amateur radio community. So we'd be empowering volunteers to define questions as well. So this is fairly involved list, but this is the kind of things we can do from the ground. A personal space weather station, of which we know we have many different configurations that include HF magnetometers and more. VLF receiver, we can incorporate GPS, GNSS receivers to get total electron content and such. Rheometer, that's an instrument that looks through the ionosphere at galactic noise and measures the absorption when the absorption is affected by the electrons coming into the atmosphere, and it's a way of imaging the ionosphere by seeing changes in galactic noise and absorption, and possible all-sky imager integration into personal space weather station installations. EasyMag is this other magnetometer citizen science initiative. Also, we've been looking into integrating all-sky imagers for that. And the movie Phase B efforts, we're in Phase B. That's what happened. Phase A was the proposal of the Cinema Project mission. Phase B, which now been approved, is the design phase. And then Phase C will be actually implementation. But movie Phase B efforts will include feasibility study for further instrument development, leveraging instrument development and integration that is already funded and underway. And here's a very dense list of the things we can be doing for HF studies. F-layer propagation, which we know we're working with Doppler shifts, ionospheric changes, solar flares. Using WWE, CHU, AM broadcast is something we've been involved with at Dartmouth. Time of flight measurements, giving virtual height, backscatter. Long delayed echoes is something that is poorly understood and could be studied using WWV, CHU signals. Signals of opportunity such as CODAR, chirp sounders, and amateur radio beacons, which we are working on. And amplitude measurements, of course, diurnal, seasonal variation, solar flares, all these signals of opportunity will help us work on that. And then D-layer absorption, which is, rheometers measure that coming from solar flares and electron precipitation. And that can be either standalone rheometers or channels within this personal space weather station and GPS total electron content and scintillation measurements. So, in summary, stay tuned for the main feature. We have the plot, great cast, and the audience from the prequels. Movie will enable new discoveries by engaging a diverse community of volunteers. And I'd say that's about it.
Thank you so much, David. Any questions? When do we start? I want to know when do we get the popcorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are
Get
things
your popcorn.
there are things underway already. So the NASA mission is already approved. It's the citizen science part that we are kind of working out more details on right now. So hopefully this will maybe by next HamSCI workshop we will have an even stronger plan.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, again, I really want to thank everyone for coming to the HamSCI workshop. This has been great fun. I have learned so much from all of the presenters and all of the people giving posters and demonstrations and talking to everyone in the hall, and it's been wonderful seeing everyone. Let's give Bob Inderbitson and his staff at the ARRL a hand.